welcome to another episode of your favorite shopping show.
That is correct. And today we are talking animals, cats and dogs and their care.
Yeah. If you're a pet lover, if you're a pet owner, if you're thinking about getting a pet, then this episode is for you.
Absolutely.
Our good friends from Purina are here with us today, and they're going to be sharing all about proper nutrition.
Yes, for our cats and dogs, because not all our dogs are flying out.
No. So, of course, stay tuned if you want to make sure that you're providing the very best care for your furry best friend throughout all stages of life.
Right.
And we're also going to be joined by a veterinarian, Dr. Sarah Eytle.
Absolutely.
And, of course, to make sure that we're providing the best care as well.
Yeah, so it's chock-filled with information today. Stay tuned, stick and stay, don't go nowhere. We'll be right
if
back.
time allows, if time allows, we'll share
Mega Moments! Let's do this. Hi guys, so we are with a nutrition expert from Purina. Her name is Otansia Graham. And yes, we are talking animals, we're talking dogs and cats and food. You can't get any better than that, right, Kim? It's
Sure.
true. Welcome, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
You have a great name, Otansia, I must
Thank
tell you.
you.
Where you get it from? Who name you?
Mommy.
Mommy name you? Mommy did some research, you know? Mommy said. Lovely
It's
name.
a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me.
Chris said before we started rolling that Jamaicans love pets. We love animals.
We do, and it's something that we should ensure that people know about us, right? Because generally you hear people criticize about our animals or roaming the streets.
Yeah.
But I think that is that it happens. But I think most Jamaicans who have pets
Genuinely love
love their pets.
them. Yeah, that's
Genuinely love
true.
their pets.
So, a lot of viewers may be guilty of this. Present company included.
Yes.
We feed our pets scraps from the dinner table or whatever is left over from dinner or breakfast. We feed it to our pets, our dogs and our cats. Why should we really go out and buy pet food?
We recommend that you buy pet food because it is complete and balanced. It has the right nutrients in the correct proportions, right? As opposed to feeding pets table scraps, that is food from the table, we don't recommend that because it is not correctly balanced, right? So we don't want to feed our pets too much protein or too much carbohydrates, because with the pet food, it actually has the correct amount of protein, the correct amount of carbohydrates, the correct amount of fat. So that is why I recommend feed pet food. It also saves time and energy, so you don't have to be cooking and wasting your gas and all of that. You just throw it out in the bowl and you're good to go. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Again, in my defense, I don't let's get into the scraps from the table. We add that to the food that we're preparing for our pets. And so that leads me to the next question, right? A lot of people balance that, their economy, but with a little pet food, some scraps from the table, and actually cook it up into a meal for the dog. And you're talking about nutrition, right?
Right.
How a lot of people do that because that's the way they can do it, especially during an off month when they have to, you know what I mean? You know, make sure their economy is right. But how do you know that the food is being balanced? Even when you serve them the puppy chow, how do you know you're giving them the right amount? Is it the amount of the bowl that you use, the size of the bowl, the type of chow that you buy?
Well, it depends on the breed of the dog as well. So based on the breed and the age and the weight, you know how much to feed your dog. It's not necessarily saying the size of the bowl, but the amount that you feed, how many cups you feed. So that will help to determine how much nutrients the dog is getting. And if you look on the label of the packages, it will show you how much protein, how much fat, how much carbohydrates is in the product, and it also tells you how much cup to feed your pet based on the age or the weight of the pet.
Okay,
That's
so it's actually
important.
here on the label, recommended daily feeding amount.
And you know we don't read a lot, right? And it's very important. No, it's for real, because a lot of us will even buy the right dog food, but we don't read the labels
That's true.
to find out how much you should actually feed your dog.
How do you select the right dog food for your dog?
Right, so again, you'd have to take into consideration the age of the dog, the weight, the breed, if the dog is active or not. the body condition of the dog. The body condition has to do with if the dog is underweight or overweight, or he has a normal or an ideal body condition. So based on all those factors, you have to take those into consideration in order to select the right pet food.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So the difference is, like Kim, I know Kim has a smaller breed dog. You wouldn't feed that breed dog, a smaller breed dog, the same thing you feed like a
German
big
Shepherd.
pit bull or a German Shepherd.
No, we don't recommend that. With Purina, we have food that is specially designed for small breed dogs, also for large breeds. So here we have our
Little bites
for small breed dogs, and what it does is it has small kibbles, so the pet is able to chew it without choking on it.
Okay.
Right? It is also made with real beef and real chicken. We have our dog chow, which you can feed to the German Shepherd, right? It is made with real meat, and the kibbles are also manageable.
It feels heavy, actually. A lot of people, as you mentioned, making them ensure that they're soft enough or small enough for the dog. Some people will put milk in the chow. Does that help? Is that something that is recommended generally?
What we recommend as Purina experts is that you add warm water. You can add warm water to the kibbles to actually soften it.
Right.
Or you can purchase one of our dog chow cans. You can mix it with the dry kibbles. So we have an assortment. Yes.
So you're saying these different high protein, what do you call them? They're
Wet food?
They're canned food.
They're canned food.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're also food, but you're saying they can help to soften the...
Right. So you can mix it with the dry kibbles, and it will help to actually, it also adds some flavor to the kibbles, right?
Okay.
And it also helps to soften it a little bit.
Awesome.
What if you wanted to switch over and start giving your pet or your dog canned food instead of dry food? How would you make that transition?
All right, so we don't recommend that you feed your pets on straight canned food. We want to add some texture to their diet, to their palatabilities, right? So we ask that you either kind of alternate it, so you feed some dry, you feed some wet. So just like humans, we don't want to be drinking soup or porridge all the time.
So they get bored too.
Right.
We've been talking dogs a lot, but you also have cat food.
Right, we do have cat food.
Do cats eat dog food? Because I would see sometimes cats nibble on dog food that's there.
Yes, they do, but we don't recommend pet owners to actually feed cat food to dogs or vice versa. One of the reasons for this is that the cat food has something called taurine, right? That is not in the dog food, and cats need taurine because if they don't have it over time, they'll become sick or have heart conditions.
Taurine.
Taurine.
Wow.
Yes.
I wonder where the wildcats in my community. they live very long.
What if you have a pregnant or nursing dog or cat? Should there be any difference in the diet?
Yes, definitely, because the mother cat and the mother dog, they are lactating, and we want to replace those nutrients that is being released to the child, right? So we recommend that they feed puppy food or kitten food. So
that is the mother dog.
Right, to replace all those nutrients, the protein, the carbohydrates, the fat, right.
So
because
puppy food is actually rich in those things.
Right, the puppy food has a lot more protein than the adult dog food.
How do you transition? How do you know when to start giving your puppy dog chow instead of puppy chow?
All right, so...
When they get heavier, when they grow bigger.
How you know when to turn a dog?
They can't tell.
All right, so for small breed puppies, they become adults from ages 9 months to 12 months.
Okay.
Right, so during that period, you'll transition to the adult dog food. For kittens, before I reach kittens, let me go to the large breed dogs.
Okay.
Right, so the large breed dogs, they start becoming adults from ages 12 months to 18 months.
Right. So large breeds take a little longer time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And for kittens now, they become adults at 12 months. So that is when you transition. And we also have a transitional period where we transition over a 7 to 10 days period, right? So for the first 1 to 3 days, we want to start feeding let's say puppy chow, right? So we're transitioning to the adult dog food. So we want to start with feeding puppy chow. So we're going to feed them at least 3/4, right? And then for the dog chow, you add the quarter. So that comes up to 1 cup, right? So over the 7 to 10 days period, you gradually increase the dog chow.
So it will move from a quarter to a half
right,
cup? Okay.
Right. Right.
That's important because a lot of people are actually busy, and some people leave their pets at home and go to work. And I know that generally a lot of people just put the chow in the pan as much as possible and they go. And they leave it to the dogs or the cats to eat the portion that they want. Is that something you recommend?
It's not something we recommend, but we understand the circumstances why they do what they do.
Right.
So remember in the earlier stage I was saying that you'll feed your dog based on the weight or the age of the dog, right? So if your dog is supposed to get 1 cup of food per day, what we recommend is that you can leave a half cup, and then when you return, you give him the other half cup.
Always a method to get it done. I'm really intrigued by this because I know that a lot of people who have dogs, you know, they want to treat their dogs better, they want to treat their cats better, but sometimes because of life, you know, we all have other things to do, it gets in the way.
Yeah.
What would you say to us to help align that, so we have to treat our pets better? Like that, for instance, that was a good suggestion. So you give them half if they're...
And half later.
Yeah, and half later.
One more thing I needed to mention, if you're going to go out, always leave a bowl of water for your pet. It's very important to feed water. So don't just leave the food and no water.
Yeah.
So that's 2 bowls, the water bowl.
Right, and the food bowl.
Okay.
Right.
Are there any other new products from the Purina line that our viewers or shoppers at MegaMart can look out for?
Right, yes, we definitely do. We have our dog chow can high protein, and we have it in an assortment of flavors: chicken, beef, turkey. Yes, we have it.
Have it good, have it good. Who eat more? Cats eat more or dogs eat more? How many times a day should you feed your cats or your dogs?
Based on knowledge and observation, I am seeing where the dogs eat more.
Right.
The cats are picky eaters.
Cats are picky eaters.
Right.
They're picky in general.
And so how many times a day you recommend you feed your dogs? At least 2 times?
Again, it is dependent on the weight of the dog.
Right.
So we'd have to take that into consideration.
And your puppies will probably nibble more than
right.
dog,
They'll
right?
start nibbling and then they continue to eat more than...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why should our viewers choose dog chow?
All right, that's a good question. You should choose dog chow because it's 100% complete and balanced. It has all the nutrients that is required. It saves time. It is made with real beef, and it is said to extend the life stage of the dog.
What about the canned options? What are some of the flavors that you have?
All right, so this is one of our new products. We have them in an assortment of flavors. We have them in beef, chicken, turkey, lamb. So the flavors are there for you to choose from.
Sounds great. You make it seem like I might have to start tasting these things here. I'm just testing them for my dog.
Of course, all of these options are available at all our MegaMart locations. So when you come down, be sure to browse our pet aisle and pick up your dog's favorite Purina product.
And be sure to check out the social media pages for Purina and get the information you need, because the information will also help you to extend the life and also the health of your dog.
Yeah. You can follow us on our CareMed Instagram page or on our Purina page at www.purina.com.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of people will be asking you questions, so look out for that.
Yes.
Jamaicans will be asking because, as I said before, we certainly love our dogs, and we love it when you take care of our animals and the dogs as well. And if you can't, then find a shelter that will take care of the dog, because they might get visa now and they will fly out.
Of course, it was a pleasure having you, Otansia,
Absolutely.
Senior Nutrition Expert at Purina. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So we're here on set with Dr. Sarah Eytle, veterinarian from Phoenix VetCare, and she's here to ensure that we're not only providing good nutrition, but the best care for our pets as well.
Right information, right? Thank you for coming on the set.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Doc. So we're talking animals, we're talking cats and dogs. First of all, a vet, what made you become a vet?
Oh, what made me become a vet? I wanted to actually look after cows and pigs and goats first, but I ended up in Kingston, Jamaica, and this is where I am now, doing dogs and cats.
Awesome, awesome.
So, from a vet's perspective, how important is good nutrition?
Good nutrition is absolutely essential. It's the absolute basis of all well-being of our pets. That's the basis. So we need to have good nutrition because it helps to build a strong immune system so they can fight off other diseases. The young puppies can have good growth and development and maintains a long and healthy life.
How do you know when you're providing good nutrition to your pets?
You can just look at the pet most of the time,
Right.
right? You can know whether they're active and alert, whether their eyes are bright, the coat is shiny,
Yes.
and if they get sick too often, you know, so that is one of the basis of what we do. Also, by taking them to your vet and having them getting checked up every now and then, so to make sure that they are healthy.
Well, how often should we take our pets to the vet?
Well, for little puppies, when you just get a little puppy, usually establish a program of about every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks.
You go to the vet, and the vet does various checks and so on. And later on in life, you can establish what we call a wellness program with your vet, so that the vet will let you know what the programs they have offered, and then you can establish that. But in general, at least once a year.
Your annual checkup.
Annual
Yes,
check. So
annual
that's something you
checkup.
definitely recommend. If you're going to buy a pet or get a pet for the family, I guess one of the first things you should do is to establish a relationship with a vet.
Exactly. Establish
Absolutely.
a relationship with the vet.
How essential is vaccination, especially for dogs?
Vaccination, that's a topic that we're talking a lot about these
Yes.
days,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, for vaccination for pets, we have what we call the core vaccines, which cover mostly the deadly diseases, which if the pet gets them, it's very expensive to treat or they're going to die from it, right? So we cover things like distemper, parvovirus, leptospirosis, parainfluenza, hepatitis. Those are the main vaccines that we cover for.
Okay.
So it is essential in the puppy stage that you get that full course of vaccinations, just like when your kids going to school,
Yes.
before they go to school, they get their vaccines. And then we usually recommend that annually you do boosters. Establish a program with your veterinarian depending on your pet environment and the exposure of the pet.
So
Very
that's-
important, the
Yeah.
vaccination, because a lot of young people, especially communities where I'm from, the dog will have a pup, and the young ones really fall in love with the young pups,
Yes,
and then
yes.
if you don't get the right amount of care, like you don't get the shots, then these
Yes.
puppies usually die,
Yes,
unfortunately.
Yes.
So it's important for you to get the shots, right?
In the shots, and also deworming. Deworming
I
is
was
about
very
to ask
important
about that.
in our environment,
Yeah.
especially since some of these things are also what we call zoonotic. They can pass from animals to people.
Right.
So covering all of those things, making sure you have a proper deworming program is also very important.
Obviously, we're sitting around puppy chow, and I'm sure you know how nutritious these foods can be.
Yes.
We spoke to one of the experts from Purina, and she was telling us about the same thing. Dogs, when the dog looks good, you know that the dog is healthy. What about exercise? Is it important for dogs to exercise, or animals to exercise?
Yeah, just like with us, we need to exercise the pet. And the exercise program would depend on whether it's a dog or a cat.
Right.
Cats tend to be very
Agile on their
yes,
own,
they do their own thing once you
Right.
provide them with the space and so on. But nowadays people are moving to more apartment style
So there's
thing.
less space.
I've seen some big cats, but I've seen
Right.
some
So
overweight
if a
cats.
cat is indoors, provide things that it could climb on and jump on and off,
Okay.
so that it can expose itself to that. If you live in a small space, an apartment or townhouse, you may want to take your dog out for a walk.
Right.
So train them from young to walk on a leash. So you can go out and have a good time. It's good for people too to get that exercise,
Right.
and you can find an area up the street and so on where you can get that kind of exercise.
What about, I know a lot of pet lovers try to share pastry every now and again with their pets or fruits.
Yes.
Are there any foods
What are the
that
bad
we
habits?
should be
Yeah.
avoiding?
Yes, we don't advise that you share your treats, right? Purina makes treats, there are treats that are specially made for pets.
Yeah.
So you should get those. If you want to give a treat, get the specially made treats.
Okay.
But a lot of human foods contain things that are not healthy for dogs and cats. You have chocolate, right, which we love to eat, but it's deadly for dogs and cats, right? Especially small breeds, small amounts. Things like raisins and grapes and onions and the onion family like scallion.
Okay.
Those at certain levels can be very toxic. So it's best to avoid too much human food. You can, give a little piece of thing off your plate, but don't make it a habit. And if you want to give them treats, give them a treat that is formulated for them.
Okay. So
Fruits. Fruit. How do dogs? Are fruits necessary for dogs or other animals like cats?
Well, they're not necessary, but if they imagine an animal out in the wild, dogs particularly tend to be quite omnivorous, so they eat a lot of different stuff.
Right.
My dogs love mangoes.
There you go.
I have
about
to
to say
fight
that.
with them to get the mangoes.
Right.
Careful about them swallowing the seeds, because that can
Right.
be a problem. But it's not dangerous for them. That's not mangoes and most fruits. Grapes are the only ones that we have to be a little careful about. Right? And it also provides some roughage and some alternative micronutrients for them. But not for their balanced nutrition.
I definitely ask because I know my dogs that love mangoes.
I know.
The mangoes.
So we're heading into the summer months. It's going to be a little hotter. A lot hotter. Can you share with our viewers some tips for ensuring that our pets are hydrated throughout those hotter months?
Yes. Jamaica is 24/7, 12 months of the year, All right. So, but indeed, as it gets hotter, we have to be careful. Careful about walking them. We talked about that exercise.
Right.
But don't walk in a hot day when the tarmac on the road is very hot, because you can burn their feet.
Wow.
You have to remember to provide water. A lot of people put out some water for the dogs in the yard, and they go to work, and then they put it somewhere where it's cool in the morning.
But
you don't know what's happening there at midday. So make sure that you know how the sun moves in your yard. Make sure that the water is clean and cool at all times. You can also think about things like automatic waters. The pets that are at home, you can maybe put them in an automatic water that gives the water a little bit in a bowl, because the dog might just turn over the bowl while you're not there and then have nothing for the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
Right? If you're going to be traveling, make sure you remember to walk with a bowl and a little water bottle for yourself and for the pet.
It really sounds like what you're saying is be very conscious about the fact that you do have a pet, you do have a dog, and that you must treat that animal as if like you treat yourself, really.
Or your child.
Or your child, absolutely.
Your child, because they are your dependent.
Yes.
Can you share any tips for viewers who may be considering getting a dog or a pet? Things that they should think about before they make that step.
Right.
Okay, that's very important. Remember that the pet is going to become a part of your family. So you have to plan. If you're by yourself, you and yourself can have that conversation. If it's a family, you can have the conversation with the whole family. I know a lot of people get a pet for the child, but then the child grows up and
goes off.
Parties and other distractions. Remember, the whole family is responsible for the care. You have to think about your lifestyle. Are you going to be living in a small place or a big place? And that will determine if you get a cat versus a dog, a small breed versus a large breed. If you are going to be, your job entails that you travel a lot, you would have to probably board that pet out. Make sure you have the facility and the resources to do all of that. Pets are lovely. They provide so much value to our lives, but we have to think about the whole aspects of how they integrate into our lives.
Very, very important and solid discussion, because a lot of us tend to run into these decisions and don't think about it like it's like you're adding another member to the family, really, which you literally are.
Yes,
and so you must consider it seriously.
And it's a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it's another life that you're caring for.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Doc. Before we go, can you share with our viewers where they can reach you to make an appointment at Phoenix VetCare and if you offer host calls?
Oh, certainly. Okay, I'm at Phoenix VetCare. Phoenix VetCare is at 73 Westminster Road in Kingston. We also have a branch in Mandeville at 85 Ward Avenue. You can, we're on Facebook as well. And you can call us at 926-5060. That's one of the numbers. We have a whole bunch of other numbers, which I can't remember right now. We also do house calls, and we also can come and pick up the pet from you and bring it in and take it back home.
Full coverage. That's
Full
what you
coverage.
provide.
That's what
Absolutely.
we aim for.
Thank you so much, Doc, for agreeing to be here and for sharing such great information with us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's time for Mega Moment! All right, Kim, let's go. You have all the information.
Right, so we just wanted to remind you guys that our mega summer promotion is going on, and all you need to do is spend $5,000 before GCT at any MegaMart location.
That's correct.
And scan the QR code on your receipt or go to www.megamartpromos.com, fill out the entry form, hit send.
Remember, first prize a 55-inch smart TV, second prize a power smokeless grill, and the third prize a power air fryer. Next,
the coffee shop at our Mandeville store is serving up some delicious treats for you. You can also check out Happy Cones for authentic Italian gelato ice cream. And those trucks are parked at all our MegaMart locations, so you can pick up gelato ice cream.
And MegaMart Waterloo, don't be left out, because we have our curbside pickup. So you know what I'm saying, we got curbside. So all you need to do is just...
Curbside is available everywhere.
Yeah, but you know, you never mentioned Waterloo. So
the numbers are here. Yeah. Just want to remind you guys that we have transitioned to our new membership card.
That's correct.
Or NCB MegaMart Mega Bonus Membership Rewards
That's
card.
a lot. NCB MegaMart Mega Bonus Mega Rewards card.
Mega enough points for your shopping.
Yes. Also, we have Island Mart, ladies and gentlemen, where you can shop online.
Right. www.islandmart.com. You can purchase all our offerings from MegaMart and they'll deliver it straight to your home or business.
Wow. Do we have anything more for Mega Moments?
Yes. Or Mega Members Corner. There's a special treat this month.
Yes, it is. It is.
Right.
This month you can spend $8,000 before GCT. MegaMart will give you 149 or 158 gram of Pringles.
Whatever flavor is in store. And of course, that's while stocks last.
So that's for our Mega Members only.
And last but not least, we have something very sweet coming up for you in our next episode. Very sweet treat. I'm sure you're going to love it. He doesn't know what it is.
Clearly, I know.
It's a surprise for you both. So be sure to check out our next episode of the MegaMart Show.
Okay, and that's it for Mega Moments. That's how my dog sounded for the hair. That's the kind of dog I want in my yard. That's
No.
Wait, how your dog sound?
Roof.
You can't frighten nobody.
I saw a sign that says, beware of, just beware.
Just beware.
There's a dog.
That's what your sign says, beware?
Just beware.
Your sign will say,
He's not a
beware.
bad dog.
Noisy dog. my house don't need no sign. My dog does.
You hear it before you read.
Yeah.
We had a great episode. Lots and lots of information.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Otansia, and of course the good
Dr.
doc.
Sarah Eytle.
Yes, yes.
And our good friends over at Purina for today's episode.
Providing such great stuff for animals, you know what I mean? So I didn't even know about, honestly, I didn't know about that they have so many different canned foods and different meats and so on.
So lots of variety, lots to choose from, and of course treats that are specially prepared for your dogs, so you don't have to share yours.
Yeah, and we have them all here at MegaMart. So come on down to MegaMart when you want to treat your dog special, or to just give them the nutrition that they need. We have it all for you down here.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yes.
Be sure to follow us on social media at MegaMart Jamaica on Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely.
For all the behind the scenes.
See a fun dog sound. When you hear a dog, you're supposed to say, talk about. Yeah, son?
But guys,
Look at that.
that's a nice, friendly, family type dog.